Hello everyone, I hope your day is filled with sunshine and smiles. Today, I have a special movie for you. But wait, I need your support to make my dream of reaching 1K subscribers or more. So, join me on this journey. Subscribe now, and let's make this movie recap. Thank you. The movie begins with a young man waking up in a dark room. He's confused about where he is and how he got there. He tries to find a way out, but only finds a toilet and a shower. He starts to panic and hits the walls to get someone's attention, but no one comes. Then he sees a computer screen that says share and tries different commands to open the door, but nothing works. When he finally tries the share command, the computer starts recording him, making him think he's being watched. He asks for help, but there's no answer. He needs to use the toilet, but there's no water. Feeling frustrated, he asks for water, and the computer responds with 5, which confuses him even more. Not knowing what to do, he lies down on the floor, feeling hopeless and trapped. During the broadcast, the man accidentally farts, which surprisingly earns him points from the viewers, who seem to enjoy such humor. Using these points, he buys water to quench his thirst, and as he washes his face, he realizes that real people are watching him, finding amusement in his actions, wanting to earn more points for food. He starts to act silly, but it's not enough. He tries random commands and manages to turn off the lights before going back to sleep when reminded to share. Again, by the computer, he goes on a rant about his situation before taking a shower, which earns him more points. With these points, he orders food but is disappointed to receive a bowl of dog food. Despite his attempts to send it back, he reluctantly eats it, even pretending to be a dog for the audience's entertainment. His antics earn him more points, but he still can't buy proper clothes. His first attempt at buying clothes provides him with female undergarments, which he humorously models for the screen, continuing to entertain his audience in hopes of earning more points. After a few hours of despair, the man breaks down in tears and sleeps. The next day, he gathers himself and begins entertaining the viewers with gymnastic dances and spontaneous thoughts. He earns enough points to buy a t-shirt, a mattress, and a toilet mirror. As time passes, he accumulates more points, allowing him to purchase clothes, shaving tools, decent food, and even alcohol. One day, he drinks excessively and smashes the monitor with an empty bottle, causing a power outage in his room. In a fit of rage, he tries to remove the monitor from the wall and examines the food hatch, but finds no way out. He punches the monitor, injuring his hand, and then has a nervous breakdown, begging to be released. He apologizes to the computer for his behavior, pleading for one more chance. The man's despair reaches its peak, and he lies down on the floor, resigned to his fate. Eventually, the computer turns on, and an old man appears on the screen, greeting him. The old man reveals that he too is a prisoner in a similar room, but he has more items than the protagonist. He explains that there are sometimes glitches in the system, and once a person reaches a certain level, they gain access to the common network, allowing them to communicate with other prisoners. Initially, the protagonist believes the old man works for the kidnappers, but the old man assures him they're all in the same situation, waking up there without knowing how or why. They suspect it's related to a Dobrik and consider it a prank. As they conversely, the man realizes the old man never stops talking, jumping from one topic to another. This habit earns him many points, but it annoys the protagonist. One night, he wakes up to the old man's coughing and approaches the computer to inquire about his well-being. During this time, the man also tries some random commands and discovers the other prisoners, each with different channel numbers. Our guy's channel number is 14, while the older man's is 73. They find various types of content, such as cooking lessons and makeup tutorials. Our guy is particularly drawn to a beautiful woman teaching yoga as more days pass. 14 spends most of his time with 73, chatting, sharing meals and even learning magic from him. At night, the old man goes to sleep while 14 connects to the yoga instructor and sends her some donations. One morning, 14 is working on his new furniture. When 73 comes to talk to him, according to the old man, they can't stay at one level, as the viewers will stop loving them and won't pay. He believes they need to grow and spread their content. However, 14 disagrees, thinking that they have to keep doing the same thing to succeed, heeding his advice. 14 tries new genres such as stand-up comedy workouts, cooking, like singing and magic. This attracts a new audience, resulting in him earning more points. He decides to use these points to buy some medicine, as he's constantly coughing while making a purchase. 14 makes an error and ends up watching the room of 11, a woman who is currently showering. She is clearly enraged by such an unacceptable intrusion and yells at him, accusing him of being a kidnapper. However, 14 quickly clarifies the ongoing situation, asserting himself as a prisoner just like her, so it's okay that he's watching her shower just then. 73 also joins, and 11 asks the two of them if they ever try to escape. In response, 14 shares his earlier behavior that caused him to be punished. The woman thinks that they should still analyze every bit of information they have, and find a vulnerability in the system. However, 73 tells her that she's just being condescending and yells at her before leaving the conversation perplexed. Elle wonders why they were chosen, since it's strange that a company would provide housing and food to random strangers. 14 replies that he wasn't anyone important, but here he got the opportunity to live a better life because now he matters to someone. This realization starts to hit deep. Later, 14 starts a little show with puppets made of socks. This amuses the viewers, and he gets rewarded with many points. The audience is pleased to finally see him going full Mel Gibson. One fine morning, gifts 11 a shower curtain, but it angers her because she doesn't want to be spied on. In the following days, 14 entertains the audience by teaching them some drawing lessons since he himself is horrible at drawing. The lessons are humorous. He eventually earns a lot of points, which he uses to buy himself more furniture. However, the woman can't bear her condition any longer, so she suggests that they start a revolution. This ensues a heated argument between the three of them, as 14 and 73 are convinced that it is here that they got the opportunity to live better than before. That night, the old man begins coughing more severely than usual and even chokes on it. In addition, he suddenly has a seizure, and his body gets paralyzed with his face pressed against the monitor, sensing the urgent of the situation. 14 appeals to all subscribers for help, while 11 tries to find a useful command on the computer amidst this intense moment. Elle accidentally enters the wrong command, and as a consequence, flames start coming out of the walls. The duo watches helplessly as 73 and his entire room get engulfed by fire before the screen goes blank. This tragedy leaves them devastated, so they remain silent for some days, mourning their loss. One morning, 14 talks to 11 and tells her not to blame herself, as she was just doing her best to help the old man. All you did was comment that his channel was on fire. He says you couldn't have meant that to happen. In an attempt to cheer her up, he performs another puppet show. After a while, the woman confesses that she wants to get drunk and asks him to accompany her. They then order some alcohol and start drinking while reminiscing about their last memories of freedom in an inebriated state. They begin dancing even if there is no music. Eventually, their moments take a romantic turn, and they use their hands to gratify themselves while looking at each other, and you can bet that the points come pouring in the following day as the two converse 14 agree with 11's old plan. All the fellow prisoners need to come together and find a vulnerability in the system since the old man's death proves that glitches do exist. Following this, he goes live and tells the audience about what happened. He points out the oddities in the system where unknown functions sometimes appear, and if they can use these functions to hack the bunker, it might open not long after the yoga instructor. 28 contacts 14 and expresses that she liked his speech. After a brief conversation, 28 goes to sleep while 14 and 11 begin to check the other channels. They are happy that several fellow prisoners are supporting them to find the glitches. In the next scene, 28 initiates her yoga session. During this, she talks to 14, saying that he gained popularity because he makes people smile, which is incredibly valuable, not as valuable as my bum when I do tree pose, but valuable nonetheless, she adds. As their conversation unfolds, she invites him to join her in yoga, which he agrees to. However, just moments later, Aeon intervenes and asks them to get to work for the next few days. Aeon continues to check the other channels in order to gather information about the glitch. Eventually, she finds out some cool stuff, like being able to control the air and even move the walls. This helps her understand that the rooms are in different places, so she decides to draw a map of the place and share her idea with 14, but he's not as excited as before. It seems like 28 made him think that being happy is super important in whatever they do. He tells her that some people are happy here, so they shouldn't ruin their happiness, but Aeon ignores him and rebels by cutting her hair that night. 28 starts her yoga session, but this annoys 11, so she talks to the yoga instructor, saying that the late night sessions are rude because they stop others from sleeping. An argument starts between the two women, and 28 accuses 11 of treating the other bloggers like her puppets. Hearing the noise, 14 comes in between to stop them. At that moment, he starts to understand 11's point again and decides to do something. He goes live and asks all the other bloggers to send him 1 point. A glitch happens, and his points start going up quickly. This makes the yoga instructor mad, and she calls him a thief. The argument gets worse and Aeon gets back at 28 by making it rain inside her room, then alone enters a command with the warmth of their light, which sets 28's room on fire soon after 11's room also catches fire, just like 73's before hers, and her screen goes off. Seeing this, 14 falls to his knees and starts crying, but suddenly a door opens behind him, showing a sunny day outside. In shock, he goes to look out of the door, but then the monitor beeps. He comes back to tell the other bloggers that they did it. However, his happiness doesn't last long as the door closes again, trapping him inside. And that's the end. Don't forget to subscribe to reach 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.
ومصادر الإرهاب وإحتجنا لبعض عناد نسينا